Regarding the larger characters that we see throughout the 3 Infinity Blade games, describe their personal origins and any alliances that they have or had been engaged in, along with the name and nature of that alliance. So, characters of interest particularly, Alsar, Raedriar, Rith, Worker of Secrets, Archivist, just as many as you can get to there.
I'm impressed with your huge question.
That is a huge question. How many days do you have?
Right. Exactly.
Maybe we can pick one and just kind of delve into.
Yeah, what do you really want to know out of that? Like, if we're going to start talking in general about that, like, what do you really? What do you hope?
If you could pick one of those relationships you want to know more about.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess primarily then it's just the origins of some of those people, and then also people take interest in alliances such as the Pantheon and who exactly was involved. All the members of the Pantheon.
Maybe we can talk about like the God King and the Pantheon.
And they talk about the Great Pact and things like that. Who was in the Great Pact? Who was part of that?
So I mean, the books start to allude to kind of a lot of this, and in our minds, maybe this is going too far back, but we'll go back. So when we were conceiving the Infinity Blade universe, we love the idea of, and we've talked about this even a little bit today, we love the idea of this fantasy story that was really science fiction. And not just science fiction, but grounded in Earth. It's actually taking place on Earth in the future. And we thought, we'll slowly even just reveal that over time. I think definitely by the second book and by the end of the third game, it's very apparent that this is Earth. But we wanted to play with some of the mythologies of our planet and extrapolate what would happen if science discovered how to make people live forever. And as we were thinking about that, we thought, man, if tomorrow, some scientist in Canada discovered immortality, would it be in next month's National Geographic? Would they be like, we're all gonna live forever? Would you actually want billions of people overnight to become immortals?
Well, and some of it was just like we started asking ourselves some of these questions that are, what would actually happen to society? What would actually happen, or at least in our minds, if we kind of extrapolate it, what might actually happen if we discovered that? And would it be well known, well publicized? Or would that be hidden? Like, because people might start exploring the question of, well, wait a second, aren't we already experiencing like overpopulation of the Earth? What would happen if now all of a sudden the 8 billion people that live on Earth didn't die,
and then kept having kids.
And kept having babies? Well, that's quite a bit of a population explosion there, right? Like that would cause all sorts of dilemmas. So would it go that route and everybody becomes immortal and everybody keeps having babies, and all of a sudden we have 200 billion people on the Earth, and then people are starving and die off that way? Like, what would happen?
Or they're immortals, they don't starve, they just are all lying around.
They're all lying there in piles of people, so we just have piles of people everywhere suffering,
Which I guess that could be a cool game. The piles of people.
There's our next game, piles of people.
Yeah. Okay. That's the next Infinity Blade game.
Yeah, Infinity Blade,
piles of people. Okay. No, but we thought, no, that's not what would happen. The rich, the powerful, the governments of the world would totally control that science, that technology, and they would only bequeath that to a very few select people. And then we thought, okay, if that happened, then what would happen? Maybe for a couple hundred years things would move along fine, but eventually let's say there was even 10,000 immortals, or even 100,000, they would start to be distanced from mere mortals. They'd be like, oh, these people with their little lives and their little problems, and and over time they would slowly start to amass massive amounts of resources and other technologies and land and power. Because with that much time, you could do almost anything.
And just imagine, so you're in college right now, just starting out. So a lot of people in college, their first freshman year, some people party a lot. Some people say, no, I'm here seriously and I'm gonna study and work hard, right? And after 1 year, most people start to become more serious at college after their freshman year, but some people take those two approaches their freshman year. So imagine now that instead of being like that for 1 year, it's 100 years. And we see how far apart people can become in 100 years of time. And what if over 100 years, one person was just like, I'm just gonna party for 100 years. And another person was like, I'm gonna study and work hard for 100 years. How far apart would those people be after 100 years? Like, that's an entire lifetime. And you think there are problems now with caste problems and people with like at different places in social hierarchies and things like that in the world, and now have people that are multiple hundreds of years apart in where their life experiences are at, where all of that happens. And we think we have a problem with the 1%, the 99% now. Just imagine in a world that was like that, and we have these few elite that are so far beyond everybody else in the human world as far as their experiences, their knowledge, their lifespans, their health, their beauty, everything else, and their riches, their resources, everything. And what would that cause to the world?